بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. And welcome to another session of التعبير القرآني. It's been a while since we did our last session and Alhamdulillah we are back. So the last time we were discussing this paragraph and we had done the i'rab. We didn't do the i'rab, we just did the tashkil. So we just read through it and maybe explained it. So today we're going to do the i'rab of it, and if time allows, we'll go to the next page, inshallah. All right. So yeah, we're on page 30 and we'll just finish off the page. Unless there's any questions or any clarifications that maybe some of you might be having from before we continue, please let me know. You can unmute yourself or raise your hand. If not, we can proceed to do the i'rab. If somebody wants to do the i'rab also, please feel free. You can raise your hand because we had already done the reading and the tashkil. All right. Okay, great. So I'm just going to read it through again because it's been a while since we stopped. I'm just going to read this through again. So فهو كما ترى في سياق الدنيا وسنن البقاء، فجاء بالصيغة الفعلية لأن الأمم تحدث وتتجدد وتهلك ويأتي غيرها وهكذا. فجاء بالصيغة الدالة على الحدوث والتجدد ليهلك. ثم انظر كيف جاء في الآية الأولى بلم الدالة على الماضي، ذلك أن لم يكن ربك، لأن الأمر حصل وتم في الدنيا فهو ماض بالنسبة إلى الآخرة. وجاء ها هنا بلام الجحود التي تدخل على الفعل المضارع للدلالة على استمرار والتجدد، فقال وما كان ربك ليهلك القرى. أما ما ختم به كل آية من الآيتين فله مكان آخر، ومثل ذلك قوله تعالى وما كان الله ليعذبهم وأنت فيهم وما كان الله معذبهم وهم يستغفرون. Alright. So again, the chapter is still continuing where Dr. Fadil is comparing the usage of mudari' and madi, different places in which the Quran has used the madi and the mudari in the context, and why that has happened. So now here in this paragraph, he says that, the فهو كما ترى في سياق الدنيا وسنة. So this ayah is in the context of the dunya and the survival, basically, the rule of survival. So in that sense, the jumla fi'liya or the fi'l was used because nations, they come anew and they perish and new other nations come in and so on and so forth. So that kind of like change, that kind of renewal, regeneration is being talked about. All right, so that's why ليهلك was used. ثم انظر كيف جاء في الآية الأولى بلام. And then he also points a certain subtlety where lam has been used, and we know lam is used to negate ماضي. So lam plus مضارع, it's used for the purpose of negating something in the past. So we look at it as something in the past. We don't look at it as something in the future. We look at it as negating something in the past. All right. And so he uses that as an argument to say that look at how the lam that indicates something has happened in the past has been used in ذلك أن لم يكن ربك. And lam, this lam is what he's talking about. لأن الأمر حصل وتم في الدنيا, because this matter has already happened and it has already been completed in the dunya, so there's no place in it. There's no place for it in the akhirah. And then here he says, the ayah where the mudari' is used, ليهلك, where is it? Here, ليهلك وما كان ربك ليهلك, this one, he says the lam al-juhud has been used, and we talked about lam al-juhud a while back. So whenever you have a negated kana sentence, ma kana, whenever you have a ma kana sentence, a negated kana sentence, ma kana, lam yakun, that kind of like a ما كان ربك ليهلك. And we talked about this template. It's not suitable, it's not befitting, right? This lam is called lam al-juhud. All right. And then he says, and as for what the ayah finishes with, right? From those two ayahs, mm, is this kullu or kulla? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, and what he finishes with each ayah, we can look at it um as what is it called?
I think it's
متعدي.
kulla.
Yeah, kulla. It is متعدي. Thank you for that. Yeah. So what he finishes each ayah from the two ayahs, فله مكان آخر. It has a different place of discussion. We can look at it somewhere else. That's basically what he's saying. And he gives another example to capture this whole idea. ومثل ذلك قوله تعالى وما كان الله ليعذبهم وأنت فيهم وما كان الله معذبهم. So again, he's going to compare ليعذبهم and معذبهم. So you can see ليعذبهم is a فعل, معذبهم is an اسم, right? Any questions or clarifications so far? Are we good? Okay, so let's look at the إعراب. So هو, this is our مبتدا, of course. And then we have كما ترى. كما ترى, this is جملة اعتراضية. It has nothing to do with the إعراب of the sentence. It's something that has been put inside. And of course, you can actually see this by the punctuation of these two signs, right? It's like I'm interjecting. I'm just putting something inside the sentence. I can actually just do away with it. And I say, فهو في سياق الدنيا وسنن البقاء. That is the sentence I'm looking at. But I interject and put something inside of it. Okay, so كما ترى, you can see this is كاف حرف جار, ما is اسم مجرور, ما صلة اسم موصول, ترى صلة الموصول. And this sentence, of course, the مبتدا is محذوف here. هو كما ترى, right? So the هو is the مبتدا and كما ترى is the متعلق بالخبر of مبتدا محذوف. And this sentence is اعتراضية, is an interjecting type of sentence. All right. Now that we figure that out, then we have في سياق الدنيا, في سياق, في حرف جار, سياق اسم مجرور. الدنيا is the مضاف إليه of السياق. So this is one bucket. This is متعلق بالخبر. Right? Because مبتدا متعلق بالخبر. And of course there's واو حرف عطف. So سياق الدنيا so this is connecting سياق الدنيا and سنن البقاء. So this is معطوف to سياق الدنيا. Alright. فجاء بصيغة therefore, therefore, so this is starting a new sentence. You could say جاء فعل ماضي بالصيغة, we know this is متعلق بجاء بالفعل. And of course, جاء comes with ba to give the meaning of bringing, right? So he brought, the فاعل is the inside pronoun هو inside جاء بالصيغة الفعلية موصوف صفة لأن لام حرف جار أن اسم of لام, so it's اسم مجرور. أن is حرف نسب. الأمم is اسم منصوب. Okay, so we talked about this لأن before. We said some grammarians look at it as, I know we learned it as لأن as a word, as together one word, but it's actually li حرف jar and أن together to come لأن, to have that composite لأن. Okay, so you can look at this لأن, the whole thing, as another متعلق, or you can just say لأن this is مبتدا, and then الأمم is the اسم of أن, and then تحدث وتتجدد وتهلك ويأتي غيرها وهكذا. You can see all this حرف عطف is connecting. So تحدث would be our خبر في محل رفع جملة فعلية. So this would be our خبر فعل. This would be a خبر, and inside that خبر is a جملة فعلية. So تحدث, referring to أمم because it's a broken plural. So الأمم تحدث. That's why it's feminine. تحدث. And then it's connected by حرف عطف واو. So this one is connected to that. تهلك connected to that. Again, واو حرف عطف. يأتي غيرها and another comes. So يأتي is a فعل and غير is the outside doer of يأتي. Here it's a bit different because it's not referring to the it's referring to something else coming after it. And this ha is what is referring back to the So a new nation comes after it. Yeah, or comes um, and so on and so forth. وهكذا, and so on and so forth. Any questions? Is that
Sister
clear?
Ilham, this غيره is a file of yati.
Yes.
The other, how would you translate just وَيَأْتِي غَيْرُهَا is the other nations which come after it?
Yeah. Other than it,
غَيْرُ.
come. So the literal translation is other than it, come. Other
Yeah,
than
but we,
that, yes, and the it goes back to the nation. So other than
nations.
that nation comes.
Okay, okay. جزاك خير Sister.
Okay. Any other clarifications?
Yeah. All of these, I wrote down some when we did this first, that all of these words are lazim, and we see that there's no maful bihi. Is there any other way to know this?
To know if there's no maf'ul bi, could you repeat that?
No, to know that these words are lazim. When we look at a
Ah,
word, and if it doesn't have a maful bihi, so we know that it's lazim. But
yes.
is there any other way of knowing that aside from, not having a maful bihi?
Um, yeah. If you know the meaning, you can actually get a sense that it is lazim because you ask yourself who's doing the action. The action is al-umam that is doing the action. So it generates, it renews. Yeah, it's renewing itself. It's not renewing something else. It is like if I said I slept, I am the one who's doing the sleeping, right? The sleep is happening on me. You can look at it that way. So the tajaddud, who is it happening on? It is happening on the ummah, on the ummah. And it is like this tahliku is a good word to think about in terms of lazim. Perish. When I say it perishes, it's not something else. It's not the perishing is not happening on something else. It's perishing by itself on its own. So once you understand the meaning, then you automatically connect that to either it's lazim or muta'addi. I find that to be the most effective way if you understand the meaning.
Okay, got it. Thank you, Jazakallah khairan.
هلك يهلك. هلك and then أهلك يهلك or يهلك. تهلك unless there's فتح family, I'm not so sure. I have to confirm that. But meanwhile, as I confirm that, so لأن is مفعول له. Yes. Yeah, this is لام التعليل. لام because. So لأن الأمم because the nations they regenerate and become new and perish and a new one comes up and so on and so forth. Yes, so that lam is lam التعليل. And yeah, you can look at it. I don't like to look at this as مفعول له because you can look at it that way. You can say that whole sentence is مفعول له. Fine. Or you can just say that this lam is lam التعليل. Lam of because, and that would be also fine. Right? So هلك يهلك. Or هلك يهلك is also there. And هلك يهلك. سمع family is also there. So yeah, all of them are there. Yeah. So you can look at هلك يهلك, هلك يهلك, or هلك يهلك. Right. Yeah, and most of these differences in families, like family, you see some people say halaka yahliku, some people say halaka yahliku. It's mostly to do with dialects. So you can find some people saying halaka yahlaku. It's fine as long as you know the meaning. Like the meaning does not change. Whether I say it as halaka yahlaku or halaka yahliku, the meaning is not changing. It's the same word. Translate the sentence. Let's see. Okay. So فهو كما ترى. So it is, as you can see, في سياق الدنيا وسنن البقاء, in the context of the dunya and the context of survival. Yeah, survival, I think it's okay, right? But it's, yeah, and survival. So therefore, he brought the verbal form, or rather he used, you can even say used, وجاء بصيغة. So he used the verbal form because الأمم, nations, تحدث, renew, regenerate. You can even say keep renewing, keep regenerating, keep perishing, because it's the mudara'. So to keep that mudara' form, you can even use the word keep. So he brought the verbal form because nations regenerate, renew, perish, and other nations, come or advance or come about, and so on. I don't know if I confused you or if I made any. Was I clear?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, great. Unless there's any other question, please feel free to ask or drop it up in the chat. Okay, great. Alhamdulillah. All right, so let's continue. فجاء, we've done so many times. جاء بصيغة. This phrase جاء ب, you probably memorized it by now because we've done so many times. Anyway, جاء is our فعل. The فاعل is the inside pronoun هو بالصيغة الدالة على الحدوث والتجدد. So that's kind of like a continuous thing because با is حرف جار. الصيغة is the اسم مجرور. الدالة, موصوف صفة happening there. And of course, دالة comes with على. So this على is متعلق to دالة على الحدوث. على is حرف جار. الحدوث اسم مجرور. And then you have واو حرف عطف connecting التجدد and الحدوث. Okay. That's I think it's a pretty straightforward. So you have a فعل. Here the فاعل is the inside pronoun. Then you have the متعلق بالفعل here. Right? And of course this متعلق here is متعلق to دالة. It's not متعلق بالفعل, it's متعلق بدالة. Again, it's important to make those demarcations to know, so that when you're translating it, you know how to properly translate it. All right? And of course, what is ليهلك? This is going to be مقول القول, مفعول به of جاء. What did he bring? ليهلك. So فجاء بصيغة الدالة على الحدوث والتجدد ليهلك. Or you can look at it as فجاء ليهلك. It can also be a بدل of this بصيغة الدالة. Right? It can also be a بدل. Actually, it is a بدل. It makes more sense like as a بدل, as opposed to any other, as opposed to مفعول به. Yeah. بدل is more correct. Because you can easily replace this whole thing with just ليهلك. You can say فجاء بليهلك. Right? As opposed to say فجاء بصيغة الدالة على الحدوث والتجدد. You can actually look at it having like colons here. Right? In English, the punctuation will be like, you will have a colon there. Is that clear? Then you have ثم, حرف عطف. Beginning a new sentence. Yes, it says then ثم انظر. Now this is فعل أمر. The فاعل is أنت تنظر. يعني you look. كيف. We've talked about كيف before, and we've said كيف is اسم استفهام للحال. Okay, because it describes the condition, the state. So you have, this is a فعل, the فاعل is أنت, and كيف, this is a مفعول حال, right? And of course this كيف is the حال of جاء, right? Because اسم استفهام, it comes at the beginning of a sentence. So كيف جاء, right? How did he bring about? That's, we're talking about the state of bringing, right? That's what the hal is describing. And of course, because it has to be at the beginning of the sentence, that's why it's here, right? So انظر, and then what? So this is how you look at it. انظر is the fi'l. Whatever comes after it is going to be انظر ماذا. It's going to be answering the question what, and therefore that becomes your مفعول به, right? And then inside that مفعول به is another جملة فعلية starting with a question word, starting with كيف. And we've said that this كيف is a حال. And then جاء, this is a فعل. في الآية الأولى جار مجرور متعلق بجاء. So في اسم حرف جار, الآية اسم مجرور, and then الآية الأولى موصوف صفة. And then of course this B goes back to جاء, because جاء B, right? It's connected. So this باء حرف جار, this is the متعلق بجاءنا. Okay, so this is, it goes back to, sorry, yeah, this is متعلق number 1, of course, and this is متعلق number 2, right? And of course باء حرف جار, لام اسم مجرور, لام الدالة. So this is the صفة of لام, the لام that indicates. Okay, so الدالة is the صفة of لام. على comes is متعلق to الدالة. على الماضي, of course, اسم حرف جار, and this is the اسم مجرور. Okay, so this is متعلق بدال. ذلك أن لم يكن, and of course this again it's a badal of this lam, or you can look at it as a عطف بيان, or you can look at it as badal اشتمال, like it's giving more information, right? Because it's quoting the entire ayah. You can look at it as عطف بيان. We good? Okay, great. Then you have لأن. We've talked about لأن before. Again, this لأن لا التعليل, لا because, and then أن is going to be حرف نسب plus its victim, which is الأمر. Together they're going to form a مبتدأ. حصل, this is فعل ماضي, but together they will form the خبر of لأن الأمر, of the مبتدأ here. Okay, so حصل is the فعل ماضي, and the فاعل is the inside pronoun هو. Then you have حرف عطف واحد connected to حصل. في الدنيا, this is a متعلق بحصل. Okay, so this one goes back to حصل. Then you have فاعل حرف عطف هو مبتدأ ماضي خبر, right? بالنسبة إلى الآخرة, باء حرف جار, النسبة اسم مجرور, so this is a متعلق بالخبر number 1. إلى الآخرة متعلق number 2. Let's see here. Can you hear me now?
Yes, so much clearer.
I'm sorry, I don't know, because I had to change my my microphone because my previous one was not working, and it's not the best, but I'll fix it inshallah later. So I don't know if let me just repeat from لأن, because I don't know how much you missed. Okay. لأن الأمر, so we've said لأن الأمر is the مبتدأ, and then from حصل, this is our خبر, and then حصل is also our فعل ماضي. واو حرف عطف. تم connecting back to حصل because تم is also a فعل ماضي. في الدنيا, this is متعلق بتم, so تم في الدنيا. Okay, so this goes back to تم. فهو حرف عطف, هو مبتدأ ماض خبر, بالنسبة متعلق بالخبر number 1 إلى الآخرة متعلق بالخبر number 2. Is that clear? Any questions?
Does the khabar end at إلى الآخرة for لأن الأمر?
Yes. Yeah, so this whole thing. Or you can even look at it as ending here, maybe. Depending on how you look at this fa. So if you look at this fa, I would actually make it end here. For the simple reason that this is a Jumla Ismiya and this inside here, this was a Jumla Fi'aliya. So it makes sense that this Jumla Ismiya is connected to this Jumla Ismiya. I mean, even though we know that, you can connect a Jumla Fi'aliya to a Jumla Ismiya, it can happen. But just, for to have it smooth out, let's connect a banana with a banana and not a banana with sleeping. Like, yeah, right? So that's how I'd probably look at it. Okay, so let's try and translate that. Unless there's another question. So he says, then look at how he brought in the first ayah, he brought lam that indicates past tense. And he gives this ayah as the evidence. That is ذلك أن لم يكن ربك. Right? So that's the evidence that he's giving, basically referring to the first ayah. In the first ayah, he said ذلك أن لم يكن ربك. لأن الأمر, why did he do this? Why did he bring the lam that indicates past tense? لأن الأمر حصل وتم في الدنيا فهو ماض بالنسبة إلى الآخرة. Because the matter has already happened and is completed in the dunya, and therefore it is past regarding concerning the akhirah, it is already a past matter. All right, as far as the akhirah is concerned, it is past. So that's kind of what he's saying.
I understand the translation, but could you explain this concept of that it is past for the afterlife because it has already happened in the dunya? No, I
Right.
just
So when
explained it.
you
Okay, thank you.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sometimes you need to say it so you can hear it and then understand it. Yeah. Okay, great.
True, true.
Unless there's another question. Yeah, and I like that's why Sayyidah Fahima does a lot. She normally just to confirm, she says it so that she can understand it better. So sometimes just saying it out loud helps for you to understand better. So don't be afraid to just repeat stuff out loud. Okay. All right. So he says, I don't know if my audio keeps, I don't know if it's clear now or
It's
I feel
fine.
like
We can hear you.
it's fine. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, so we continue. So وجاء ها هنا بلام الجحود التي تدخل على الفعل المضارع للدلالة على استمرار والتجدد. So جاء فعل ماضي, again we've covered it several times, and the فاعل is the insert pronoun هو, and then you have ها هنا. I don't think we've come across this word ها هنا before. Let's just look at it a little bit. ها, this initial ها is called ها التنبيه. ها of drawing to attention, calling somebody and trying to get their attention. For example, just it's the same ha you have in هكذا or هذا or ya ayyuha, that kind of ha, all that is just drawing something into attention, right? So that's the ha التنبيه. And then هنا, we're familiar with هنا. هنا is a ظرف of place, meaning here. When I say here, I'm talking about a place. So I'm just drawing your attention to this place. When I say ha huna, I'm saying you look here. This is what I'm referring you. I'm trying to draw your attention to this particular place. That's ha huna. Okay? So whenever you come across this ha called ha at-tanbih, ha to draw somebody's attention, and huna is a dharf. So this, we'll look at it as a dharf. B lamil juhud. So B The ba goes back to جاء, it's married to جاء, and this is متعلق to جاء. Lam al-juhud, we explained what lam al-juhud is a kind of lam that comes in a negated kind of sentence. All right. التي تدخل على الفعل المضارع. So now this lam al-juhud, which is the name, so lam al-juhud, lam is the mudaf and al-juhud is a mudaf ilay. And then this lam is being described by التي. التي here is a sifa. Okay, اسم موصول, and it's the sifa of lam al-juhud. All right. And then whatever comes after it, تدخل is a صلة الموصول لا محل له من الإعراب. But inside that صلة الموصول, we have a sentence. We have تدخل على الفعل المضارع, which is a جملة فعلية. تدخل, going back to the lam, right? تدخل, so the فاعل is the instant pronoun here, right? Going back to lam الجحود. على الفعل المضارع, of course, على is اسم حرف جر. الفعل اسم مجرور. المضارع, this is صفة of الفعل. So you can look at that as a متعلق بالفعل, right? المضارع للدلالة. Okay, so lam, again another حرف جر. الدلالة, this is the اسم مجرور. الدلالة comes with على, so على is متعلق to الدلالة. الاستمرار is the اسم مجرور of على, and then you have واو حرف عطف connecting استمرار and التجدد, continuity and renewal or regeneration. Renewal, I think is better. Okay, so yeah. And then فقال, so now he's giving the evidence to where the lam al-juhud was used. So he said this in this ayah, وَمَا كَانَ رَبُّكَ لِيُهْلِكَ. This is the lam al-juhud that he's referring to. Very good. Any questions?
We use تدخل because juhud is a broken plural.
No, because of lam. So kalima
Lam
lam
looks
or
like
harf
a-
lam. Normally when we talk about letters, we normally describe them
Okay.
in feminine. Yeah,
Okay. All right. Thank you.
you're welcome. Lam al-juhud. What is lam al-juhud? Lam al-juhud is a kind of lam that comes in a negated kind of sentence like this one. وَمَا كَانَ رَبُّكَ لِيُهْلِكَ الْقُرَى. It is not appropriate for. That's the template we talked about when we discussed this, when we explained lam al-juhud. So it comes in this template, and it's specific to this template, and it's called lam al-juhud. It's a kind of lam. It's a kind of lam that is lam al-maksura. The lam has a kasra. So remember, I had mentioned before in the group, I don't know if it was this group or another group, I don't remember, but there are so many different kinds of lam. And you have lams that have fatha on it and lam that have kasra on it. For example, lam al-tawkid has fatha on it. So لأذهبن, I will certainly go. That is lam al-tawkid. It has a fatha on it. But lam harf of jar, it has kasra on it. Or lam ta'lil, lam of because, has kasra on it. Lam al-juhud is also another one that has kasra on it. And there's so many. There are about 16 different kinds of lam that serve different purposes or come in different sentences. Right. So that's just basically, it is not tawkid. Anytime you see lam with a kasra on it, it's never going to be tawkid. It's going to be harf jar, so it's going to make whatever comes after it kasra, but it's going to have different functions. For example, lam ta'li has because. This one, it gives you the template. It is not appropriate for. وَمَا كَانَ رَبُّكَ لِيُهْلِكَ الْقُرَى. It is not appropriate for your Rabb to destroy a nation. So it will translate as to, which lam means to, right? So it will just translate that, but its purpose is telling you that it's coming in a negated kind of sentence, and it has this meaning of it is not appropriate for, or it is not right that your Rabb does this. It is not suitable for somebody to do this. That's the function. Lam al-juhud. I hope that's clear. All right.
Sorry, one more question.
Go on.
The allati after juhud, the entire sentence will be the sifa of lam al juhud, right?
Yes, exactly.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So Aisha says lam enters in present tense indicates continuation. Yeah. So the yuhlika, the present tense already indicates continuation. So he's just saying that, ما جاءها هنا بلام الجحود التي تدخل على الفعل المضارع. Yeah. So whenever you have this template, the lam al-juhud, this lam does not come with a madi. You cannot say وما كان ربك لأهلك. It doesn't come. This lam specifically always comes with a mudara. And I think that's his point that he's trying to make. That this lam comes with a mudara, therefore to indicate continuity and renewal. Right? Yes, it will always be with a negated kana sentence. That's the condition. It has to be a negated kana sentence. Right? And we know the different degrees of negating. So you can say, you can use the lowest form of negating, or you can use the highest form of negating, which is like using in. In is the strongest tool of negation, if you will. Right? So you have ma is slightly, and ma is in the middle. You have la, then ma, then in. If you use in, it's like you're being very emphatic in your negation. Yeah. Yeah, present tense indicates continuation anyways. Yes. Because that's what he's been saying all along, isn't it? He's been saying that when I say I am going, let's just look at the language and let's not focus on what he's saying. When I say I am going, doesn't it mean that I keep doing it? Does it mean that it's continuous? That's what it means. Present tense means continuity, something that keeps happening. I am drinking. Does it mean I'm drinking once? No, that means I keep on doing it. I keep on drinking, right? So present tense indicates continuity. But if I say I drank, that means it's already done. That means I finished drinking. I'm not doing it right now. It's not continuing. It was done and finished, right? What's he saying about, I don't get it, about the verb discussion. Okay, so let's look at yeah, so sometimes he can be a little bit extra, I think. But we are very grateful for the knowledge that we are getting from him. So he's saying, so he's comparing, maybe let's go back to, because it's been a while and probably we have forgotten what the ayahs that he was talking about. Where are the ayahs? Anyway, let's just focus on what he has said. The examples that he has mentioned in this passage. But let me clear this first so that I can be able to read it nicely, because it's also chaotic. Right? So we can understand exactly what he's trying to say, if it's an argument that we can agree with or not. Okay. So he's saying, talking about this ayah, ذَلِكَ أَنْ لَمْ يَكُنْ رَبُّكَ. That's the one he's focusing first. So he's saying, ذَلِكَ أَنْ لَمْ يَكُنْ رَبُّكَ. This verse is, as you can see, in the context of the dunya and the survival. No, sorry, that's not the one he's talking about. This one, لِيُهْلِكَ وَمَا كَانَ رَبُّكَ لِيُهْلِكَ. This is the one that is in the context of the dunya and survival. Okay, so he's saying that, as you can see, this one, وَمَا كَانَ رَبُّكَ لِيُهْلِكَ الْقُرَى, this one, if you were to read this entire passage in Surah Hud, you probably realize that it has to do with the dunya and survival. So it is the setting is in the dunya. The setting is happening now. And therefore فجاء بصيغة الفعلية. So therefore he used the فعل لأن الأمم تحدث وتتجدد وتهلك ويأتي غيرها, so on and so forth. Yeah, because nations on this earth, nations right now in the dunya, in our context, they keep changing and they keep fluctuating, and that's why he used the verb, right? But when he came to ذلك أن لم يكن, he didn't use the مضارع, he used the ماضي indicated by lam that indicates the ماضي. He used the ماضي لأن الأمر حصل وتم في الدنيا فهو ماض بالنسبة إلى الآخرة. The context in this second ayah, this one, is in the scene, if you will, is in the akhirah. So one scene is in the dunya and the other scene is in the akhirah. So the scene that is in the dunya, that is happening now, he used fi'liya, he used the verb, because it's still continuing, still happening. But the context that was used in the scene of the akhirah, the madi was used because when you're in the akhirah, you're looking back into the past and you see that the past has already been done. It's already finished. You cannot be in the akhirah and speak about the past like as if it's still going on. You understand? So that's what he's saying. He's saying when the context of the dunya was being mentioned, then the fi'l was used because the dunya is still going on. The dunya hasn't ended. We're still in it. But when the context of the akhirah was used, or when we were in the context of the akhirah, then we are past the dunya. The dunya is already finished. So now we cannot speak about the dunya as if it's still continuing. We speak about the dunya as if it's gone, as if it's already done, it's already complete. And that's why he used the madi in the context of the akhirah. That's just basically what he's saying. I hope that's clear. Where does lam come into the discussion? Do we need that? Yeah. I mean, I also don't get that argument, especially with lam and lam al-juhud. Because the idea is already, the present tense is already there to indicate continuity. So I don't understand the argument of the lam very much. Or I also don't get it much, honestly. Yeah. I get your confusion, and I also don't understand the argument there. Like, what's the importance of saying that this lam is lam in juhud? I mean, yeah, sure. This template you cannot have this template with a madi given. You cannot, it's not like you have options to say li ahlak al-qura. You cannot say that. So what's the point of saying that this lam comes with a mudari? It always comes with a mudari. It will never come with a madi. And the point of present tense being continuous is captured in the verb itself. It has nothing to do with the lam. Allah Ta'ala alam. Maybe he knows, again, I'm just going to say that probably he knows something we don't know as far as this is concerned. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Probably he knows, Mr. Fawzia, probably he knows some grammar rules that we don't know. I cannot, I don't know. Let me just say I don't know. Allah Ta'ala alam. But that argument, to be honest, I don't see the point of it. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, unless there's another question. Okay, let's see if we can be able to finish this page. Maybe saying he purposely used this template to use mudara. Yeah, that could be it. Yeah, exactly. That could be it. Like, yeah, you could use another template, for example. Right, yeah. So yeah, instead of Allah saying it is not appropriate for him to destroy a nation, you could have just said Allah does not destroy a nation, or Allah will not destroy a nation. So there are different ways of saying this, yes, definitely. So because he used this particular template, maybe that's why Allah Ta'ala alam. But that's a good observation. Yeah, that's a balagha thing. Why did he use this template and not any other way of saying it? There could be reasons for that. Right? Then we have amma. What is amma? أما is one of the أداة الشرط. Okay, so this comes in a conditional sentence. So this is our أداة الشرط. And then ما ختم, this would be like our فعل شرط. Okay. And I think أما comes with an اسم. And it comes with a جملة اسمية. That's why you have ما there. ما اسم موصول. And then ختم, that will be the صلة الموصول. And then به, so ختم, this is فعل. And then به, this is متعلق بالفعل ختم. And then كل, this is مفعول به, right? كل again مضاف. آية مضاف إليه. من الآيتين, again من goes back to آية من الآيتين, so it goes back to آية. So this is متعلق to آية. Okay, من حرف جار الآيتين اسم مجرور, so this is متعلق to آية specifically. فاء الرابطة, this فاء is called فاء الرابطة or فاء الجزاء, that's the other name for it, and it comes in a جملة شرطية when you have like the two parts not kind of matching, then you tend to have this فاء. Okay, so ختم is a verb, and then in this case you have a جملة اسمية on this other side, so because of that you have a فاء. And then له, this is a متعلق بالخبر مقدم, right? And then مكان آخر, this is our مبتدا. And then آخر, this is our صفة to our مبتدا. Questions? Of course, this part له, this is our جواب الشرط. And then this previous part, this is our شرط part. Are we clear? Is that good? Questions? And أما means as for. So he's saying, sorry, can you hear me now? Okay. So
Yeah, we
he's
can
saying
hear you.
as for, great. As for what each of the two ayahs end with, it has another place of discussion, or it has another place of, yeah, and it has another place. Like we look at it separately, something like that. Right? Like this is not the place for it. That's what he's saying. This, what ends, this is not the discussion we are having. He's trying to focus the discussion on fi'l and ism. So he's saying, because the first ayah ended with وَأَهْلُهَا مُصْلِحُونَ, and then وَأَهْلُهَا غَافِلُونَ, I think. Was it? وَأَهْلُهَا غَافِلُونَ, yeah. So the first one ended with وَأَهْلُهَا غَافِلُونَ, and then the second one ended with وَأَهْلُهَا صَالِحُونَ. So you can see clearly there's a difference. One, غافل, these are heedless, and salih, these are pious, good people. So what's the difference between the two? And he's saying this is not the place for it. There's a separate discussion for that balagha concept. Why is this ending in this one, and why is the other one ending in the other one? Are we good? All right. Then we have وَمِثْلُ ذَلِكَ قَوْلُهُ تَعَالَى. مثل مبتدأ, and then it's also our مضاف. ذَلِكَ is our مضاف إليه, so this whole thing is together. And then قَوْلُهُ, this is our خبر, and of course the ha is the attached pronoun there, مضاف مضاف إليه. تعالى, we've done تعالى so many times, right? So مثل قوله تعالى. And of course this is فعل ماضي. تعالى is فعل ماضي, just for recap, in case somebody wants to recap their memory. So تعالى, يتعالى فعل ماضي, تساءل family. And then he gives the example. So وَمِثْلُ ذَلِكَ قَوْلُهُ, and an example of that is the statement of Allah, this. And so this whole statement can be like a badal of قوله ومثل ذلك, ومثل ذلك, this. So this whole statement the ayah that he's quoting is a badal of qawluhu. And the example of that is his speech, exalted be he, وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ لِيُعَذِّبَهُمْ وَأَنْتَ فِيهِمْ. And it's not appropriate for Allah to punish them, and you're while, again, this could be, this is jumla haliyah, while you are among them. وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ مُعَذِّبَهُمْ وَهُمْ يَسْتَغْفِرُونَ. And it is not appropriate that Allah is a punisher of them. That's the literal translation, that Allah is not a punisher of them while they're seeking forgiveness. And he's going to go through the details why مُعَذِّبَهُم is used and لِيُعَذِّبَ is used. Isn't ayah in previous sentence rafa? I mean, كل آية. You mean كل ما ختم به?
Assalamu alaikum. Yes, Sister Ilham.
Yeah, I was struggling with that as well, because I'm wondering, is
Isn't
it
isn't it the file of Khatama, like the ayah is ending with it?
yeah, I was struggling with that as well, because I'm not sure if it's mutaaddi or lazim. Because depending, if it's mutaaddi, then you can look at it as khatama bihi kulla. If it is lazim, then khatama bihi kullu. And so I'm not so sure what he ended the ayah with or what the ayah ends with. So both can apply, I guess, but I'm not so sure if it's mutaaddi or lazim, or if both apply.
What is
Let me
Ma
just
going to
confirm.
hear? What is Ma going to hear? The ending?
The ending. So
If it is an ending,
it's
then
the ending that's going back to ma. It's not the ma that is going back to the ending.
okay, so the
Yeah.
he is a ayat then?
Yeah, the ha is aid. So I think there's both. There's both lazim and mutaaddi. I think. Yeah. Like he completed something. If
That
he
we can
concluded
say
something.
as far as what the ayah concluded upon.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's both lazim and mutaaddi, and in that sense, you can look at it as lazim. You can say kullu ayatin, what each ayah concluded upon. Yeah, it's fine. Or what he concluded each ayah upon.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Either way, it refers to the same thing, isn't it? Like, yeah.
So just a clarification on this concept of lazim and mutati in Hans Weir, if it has a maful bihi, the ha that comes in the brackets, then that's going to be mutaddi, right? And so
Yes.
even in the meanings that is in Hans Weir, there are some of them, like include comes with the maful bihi, but in the next sentence, same family one, to close or to heal a wound does
Yeah.
not come with a
With a
so
maf'ul
that
bihi,
makes it
exactly.
lazim. So it's so that's both lazim and mutaddi depending on the meaning.
Exactly. Depending on the
Correct.
meaning. And that's why I find the meaning the most comprehensive way to understanding the difference between lazim and muta'addi.
Okay, thank you. Jazakallah khairan.
Great. Anything else you want to add, or because I felt like I cut you short. I didn't mean to cut you. Okay, great. Any other clarifications or questions?
And the who over here, the who is going to this fragment, right?
Falahu, yes.
Yeah, ما
Um,
ختم به كل
yeah,
كل آيات. Okay. Okay.
yeah. So this whole thing, it has a different place. Yeah. All right. Great. So we finished page 30. Inshallah, tomorrow we'll look at page 31. And for those who are interested in the Surah Hadid class as well, we'll resume that tomorrow as well, inshallah, where we'll be looking at the explanation of ayah 1 to 3. And I can't wait. It's mind-blowing stuff, guys, honestly. Anyway, may Allah, unless there's any other thing before we wind up, because we are on the hour mark. The reading was finished, alhamdulillah. Yeah, وإياكم جزاكم الله خير, Archie and Fahima and everybody else. I really appreciate this. I mean, you guys really push me, and I learn. I mean, right now I can be able to just read. I've been reading quite a bit without tashkil, some articles and things like that. Alhamdulillah. So it's been great. Okay, yeah, I will share the PDF, but you can also find them in the study material, in the what are they called? Study materials in the Bayyinah website, but I'll still share, no problem. Hopefully I have a clean copy, because most of my copies, as you can see, I doodle them, and so I'll check if I have a clean PDF copy, or if somebody has a clean PDF copy, please send it. Yeah, by the way, once I understood lazim and mutaaddi, like Arabic just opened up for me. To be honest, that is the one topic that I think it's the most difficult topic to teach. But once you get it, like I can't say like I get it 100%, but at least I get it to some extent. And that just unlocked Arabic for me. Because now I was like, oh, I get it now. I get the fa'il, I get the maf'ul bihi, I get why this is lazim, I get why this is muta'addi. And once you get that, like, trust me, that's the one topic you need. It's the most important topic on advanced structures, and it's the one that a lot of people struggle with. I struggled with it for a very long time until I got it, and I urge you guys to put in the effort. That's the one topic you need to like really nail. And the reason why that is the hardest topic to understand is because we are learning Arabic through translation. So we are translating it to our language, and then we are trying to understand it. So if you're translating, either you're translating it to English or you're translating it to Urdu. And when it comes to lazim and mutaaddi, you cannot translate. The minute you translate, you lose it. Like you won't understand it. So that's where the challenge comes in. Yeah. Is it more like memory game for lazim and mutaaddi? There's no qaida for it, right? The qaida is not to translate it into English. The reason why you don't translate it into English is because there's transitivity, and in transitivity, there's actually mutaaddi and lazim in English as well. All right, and because there's lazim and mutaaddi in English, and there's lazim and mutaaddi in Arabic, when we translate, some of it gets lost in translation because certain verbs in English are lazim, but they're not lazim in Arabic. And then you have certain verbs in Arabic are lazim, and they're not lazim in English. So you see where the conflict comes in. I can't think of anything at the top of my mind, but like sometimes, like the way we even translate, like in ja'abi, it's mutaaddi bi harf, right? He brought. But in English, we don't say he of brought. We don't translate the ba, right? We don't translate the ba in English. But in Arabic, the ba is there. So when you translate, things just start losing value, and you get more confused, and you're like, what is happening? So that's the problem. Yeah. Maybe we can do a refresher course on mutaaddi, on lazim and mutaaddi. But I think that's a very, very important topic, honestly. Let me see if I have some examples that maybe would clarify if I did. I don't know. Oops. So you have like some common ones that share both in English and in Arabic, like جُلِسَ على الكرسي. Oh, على الكراسي. Okay. I made it plural. Fine. The chairs were sat on. Sat on. So you can see both in Arabic, the ala and the on is translated. Beautiful. No clash there. شُكَّ في الأمر. The matter was doubted. The matter was doubted. We don't say the matter was doubted in. So you see, in English, we lose the in, but in Arabic, there's the fi. The matter was doubted in. So this is where like some of the clashes happen and you tend to lose it. Sometimes English translations help, sometimes not at all. Exactly. Exactly. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. But when it comes to this topic, just best to think of it in Arabic, to think of the meaning and to find the closest meaning in English. Because you can find some words in English that are very close to the muta'addi meaning or to the passive meaning, which we're trying to capture. And it can help, I suppose. Here, jar majroor, نائب الفاعل. Exactly. Here, the jar majroor is going to be considered نائب الفاعل. جلس على الكراسي. على الكراسي will be jar majroor في محل رفع نائب الفاعل. Yes. So who's right? I mean, the Arabs are right when it comes to Arabic, and the English, the whatever English speaking people are right when it comes to English, I suppose. Interesting. Okay, sorry guys. My microphone started messing up, so I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow, inshallah. السلام عليكم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم.